Form 1 Mathematics, second midterm, Chapter 8, More on Decimals, first part, textbook page numbers from 119 to 127. Learning outcomes. Know the methods of decimal multiplication and decimal division. Contents. Multiplication by 10, 100 and 1000, division by 10, 100 and 1000, multiplication by a whole number, division by a whole number, division of decimal by a two-digit whole number, changing fractions to decimals, that means exact values. The first subtopic is multiplication by 10, 100 and 1000. Here in this subtopic there are some rules. First one is to multiply by 10, the decimal point is moved one place to the right. To multiply by 100, the decimal point is moved two decimal places to the right. To multiply by 1000, the decimal point is moved 3 places to the right hand side. That means I'll explain these things in the examples. If we have to multiply a decimal value by 10, we have to take the decimal point to the right hand side by one digit, like this way. If we have to multiply a decimal by 100, then we have to take the decimal point to right hand side by 2 digits. If we have to multiply a decimal by 1000, we have to take the decimal point to right hand side by 3 digits. I will explain this one further in my examples. Now look at these examples. Here I have given 6 examples. First one, 5.36 multiplied by 10. Here we have to multiply this decimal of 5.36 value by 10. As I told you in previous slide, if we have to multiply a decimal by 10, we have to take the decimal place to right hand side by one digit. So now the decimal place is in between 5 and 3. So we have to move this decimal place to right hand side by one digit. Then it comes to in between 3 and 6. That means the value is 53.6. Then second example. Here we have 0.048 times 10. Here also we have to multiply this decimal by 10. Since 10 has only one digit, one zero digit, we have to take the decimal place to right hand side by one digit. Right? Since the 10 has only one zero, we have to take the decimal place to right hand side by one digit. That means in decimal multiplication, if we have to multiply by 10, we have to move the decimal place to right hand side by one digit. Now this decimal place is in between these two zeros. So when we are moving this decimal place to right hand side by one digit, it has come in between 0 and 4. Then the answer is 0.48. Let third example. 0.057 times 100. Here we have to multiply this decimal by 100. That means we have to take the decimal place to right hand side by 2 digits. Why is that? Because here 100 has 2 zeros. Just remember this one, right? Since 100 has 2 zeros, we have to take the decimal place, or we have to move the decimal place to right hand side by 2 digits. Right? Now the decimal place is in between these two zeros. When we are moving this decimal place to right hand side, then it comes in between 5 and 7. Then the value is 5.7. Then fourth one, 1.098 times 100. Here also we have to multiply by 100. So in that case also we have to move the decimal place to right hand side by 2 digits. Now the decimal place is in between 1 and 0. After moving this decimal place to right hand side, then it comes in between 9 and 10, 8 digits. Then the answer is 109.8. Fifth example, 0.009 times 1000. Here we have to multiply by 1000. That means we have to move the decimal place to right hand side by 3 digits. Then the answer is 9. Last one, 2.530 times 1000. Here also we have to multiply by 1000. Now the decimal place is in between 2 and 5. So we have to take the decimal place to right hand side by 3 digits. Then it comes here. The answer is 2530. Next subtopic, division by 10, 100 and 1000. Here also, like previous multiplication, we have some rules. First one is to divide by 10, the decimal point is moved one place to the left. To divide by 100, the decimal point is moved 2 places to the left. To divide by 1000, the decimal point is moved 3 places to the left, right? In decimal multiplication, if we have to multiply by 10, what we have to do? We have to take the decimal place to right hand side by 1 digit. If we have to do division, or if we have to divide the value by 10, we have to take the decimal place to left hand side. Opposite of right, left, no. Division means opposite of multiplication. So in here we have to do the opposite of process. That means we have to take the decimal place to left hand side, opposite of right. So if we have to divide by 100, we have to take the decimal place to left hand side by 2 digits. If we have to divide by 1000, we have to take the decimal place to left hand side by 3 digits. Now look at these examples. First one, 235.3 divides by 10. Here we have to divide by 10. Since we have to divide by 10, we have to move the decimal place to left hand side by 1 digit. Now the decimal place is in between 5 and 3. So we have to take this decimal place to left hand side by 1 digit, since we have to divide by 10. So it has come to in between 3 and 5. So the answer is 23.5. Second one, 68 divides by 10. Here 68, just a whole number is there. As we already know, if we can't see any decimal place, what does it mean by? It means after the last digit, decimal place is there. That means after 8, decimal place is there, decimal point is there. So here also we have to do division by 10. So we have to take the decimal place to left hand side by 1 digit. So it comes in between 6 and 8. The answer is 6.8. Third one, 1.9 divides by 100. Since we have divided by 100, we have to take the decimal place to left hand side by 2 digits, right? Now the decimal place is in between 1 and 9. We have to take the decimal place to left hand side by 2 digits. But in front of the decimal place, only 1 digit is there. So what should we do for that other digit? We have to add the 0. So I have colored that one in red color, right? The answer is 0.019. Fourth one, 796 divides by 100. Here also we have to divide by 100, and here also we can't see the decimal place directly. So that means after the last digit decimal place is there, that means after 6 decimal place is there. So we have to move that decimal place to left hand side by 2 digits. Then it comes in between 7 and 9. Then the answer is 7.96. Next one, 348.7 divides by 1000. Here we have to do division, or we have to divide by 1000. So have to take the decimal place to left hand side by 3 digits. Now the decimal place is in between 8 and 7. We have to take the decimal place to left hand side by 3 digits. Then it comes in front of 3. That means the answer is 0.3487. Next one, 0.4 divides by 1000. Here we have to divide by 1000. That means we have to move the decimal place to left hand side by 3 digits. But in front of that decimal place only 1 0 is there. So we have to add other 2 zeros as well, like this like these 2 zeros, two red color zeros we have to add, right? Then the answer is 0.004. Then next subtopic is multiplication by whole numbers. Look at this first example. Here we have 725.6 multiplied by 3. 3 is a whole number, one digit number. We have to multiply 725.6 by that 3. Right? Here we are using our same multiplication method. That means that long multiplication method. Right? First of all, we have to multiply this 3 by 6. Then 3 by 6, 18. So we can't keep that 18. We have to write 8 here, and 1 should come previous place. So we have to multiply 3 times 5. 3 times 5 means 15. Then 15 plus that previous 1 means 16. So then from 16 also we can't keep that whole 16. We have to keep that 6 and have to take the 1 to other side. Then 3 times 2, 6, and that 1 means 7, altogether 7. Then 3 times 7, 21. Don't forget to keep the decimal places when you are multiplying these decimals by the whole numbers. Right? Then the answer is 2176.1. Second example, 58.7 multiplied by 600. Here 600 is the whole number, and we have to multiply 58.7 by that 600. How to multiply then? Here the easiest way is we have to separate this 600 to 100 times. That means, as we know, 600 means 6 times 100. Right? So we can separate the 600 into 6 times 100. Right? So we have to multiply this 58.7 by 6, and then after 100. That means, except multiplying directly by the 600, we can separate this one and can multiply 58.7 by 6 and then can multiply by 100. Right? Here we have to multiply 58.7 by 6. Or by a whole number. Then 6 times 2, 42. From 42 we are writing here 2. That 4 comes there. Then 6 times 8, 48. 48 plus 4, 62. From 62 we are writing 2 here. 48, 52. From 52 we are writing 2 here. That 5 comes here. Then 6 times 5, 30. 35 plus 35. So the answer is, after multiplying 58.7 by 6, we are getting answer as 352.2. But this is not the correct answer. Why is that? Because we have to multiply this answer by 100 further. Right? So we have to take this decimal place to right hand side by 2 digits, since we have to multiply by 100. So the answer is 35,220. Third example, 0.094 times 80. Here so I have separated this 80 to 8 times 10. So first we have to multiply 0.094 by 8, and then after finding that multiplication answer we have to multiply it by 10. Right, then we have to multiply here 0.094 times 8. Then shall we multiply 8 times 4, 32. From 32 we are writing 2 here, that 3 comes here. 9 times 8, 72. 72 plus 3, 75. Then from 75 we are writing here 5, and that 7 comes here. Then 8 times 0, 0. 0 plus 7, here 7. And here 8 times 0, 0. Right, after multiplying 0.094 by 8, we are getting 0.752 as the answer. So but this is not the correct answer, since we have to multiply that one by 10. Right, then 0.752 should be multiplied by 10. As we learned in decimal multiplication, we have to take decimal place to right hand side by 1 digit here. So the answer is 7.52. Next subtopic is division by whole numbers. Here also I will explain this method using some examples. First one, 6.56 divides by 4. Here we have to use long division. Then 6.56 should be come inside and 4 should goes outside, like this way. Then 4 times 1 to 6. Then 4 times 1 means 6. Then 6 minus 4, 2. Then have to take the 5 down, and don't forget to keep the decimal place as well. If you are not keeping the decimal place, the answer will be wrong. Right, then 6 times 4, 24. 25 minus 24, 1. Then have to take this 6 decimal place to down. Then 4 times 4 means 16. Then 16 minus 16, 0 remainder. Right, then the answer is 1.64. This is the way of dividing a decimal by a whole number. Second example, 0.6552 divides by 6. Here so I have used long division method. Then 0.6552 should come inside and 6 goes outside. 6 times 0, 0. Then keep the decimal place, then take this 6 to down. Then for 6 times 1 equals 6. Then again here 0. Then take that 5 to down. Then 6 times 0. Then here 5 is remaining. Then take that 5 to down. Then 55 is there. Then 6 times 9 equals 54. Then 55 minus 54, 1. Then have to take the 2 to down. Then 12. 6 times 2 equals 12. Then remainder is 0. Right, then the answer is 0.1092. Next example, 157.8 divides by 30. Here we have to divide the decimal by 30. It's somewhat hard to divide by this 2-digit number. So we in previous method, we can separate this 30 into 10 times 3. Right, so except writing this 30, we can write like this way: 157.8 divides 10 divides 3. Right, so here first step is 157.8 divides by 10. That one you did that part. So as we already learned, we have to take the decimal place to left hand side by 1 digit. Then answer is 15.78. But that is not the correct answer. You have to divide that answer by 3 further. Right, then finally we are getting the answer as 5.26. Next example, fourth one, 6 divides by 5. Here 6 should come inside and 5 should go outside. Then for 6, 5 times 1. Then 6 minus 5, 1. Then but we have to continue this division, so we have to add 0 zeros after decimal place. Then we can take this 0 to down, then 10 is there, then 10 means 5 times 2, 10 minus 10 0, then the final answer is 1.2. Next example, 7.1 divides by 8. 7.1 divides by 8. Here we have to write that 7.1 divides by 8 like this way. So for 7, 8 times 0, then 7 minus 0, 7, then you have to take that 1 to down, then 71 is there, then for 71, 8 times 8, then 64, then 71 minus 64 means 77, then you have to put another 0 and take it to down, then 70, then for 70, 8 times 8, then 64, again 6 is remaining, so again you have to add another 0 and take it down, then 60, then for 68 times 7, 56, then 4 is remaining, again you have to put a 0 and take it down, then 40, 8 times 5 equals 40, then the answer is 0. The answer is, remainder is 0 and the answer is 0.8875. Then next subtopic is division of decimals by a 2-digit whole number. There's a special thing, that is, since it is hard to divide a decimal by a 2-digit number, we are using an estimation, right? We are using an estimation. Now look at this first example. 85.8 divides by 26, right? Here this is somewhat hard, so we have to estimate these values, so we have to round off these values, right? Then except writing 85.8, we can just write 86 without the decimal and round off to first for ones place, right? Then 86 then divides by 26. 26 is nearer to 30, then we can assume that 26 as 30. So now we have to divide 86 by 30. That 30 means 10 times 3. So first of all we have to divide 86 by 10 and then the answer should be divided by 3, right? After dividing 86 by 10, the 8.66 is coming, then we have to divide that 8.6 by 3, then the answer will be 2.866. Second example, 71.76 divides by 23. Here I have taken 71.76 as 72, then 23 as 20, right? This is estimation. So 20 means 10 times divides, you have to remember that one. Then first you have to divide 72 by 10, then answer is 7.2, then that answer should be divided by 2, right? That means 7.2 should be divided by 2, then the answer is 3.6. Okay, last subtopic for this first part, changing fractions to decimals, that means exact value, right? Here we are going to convert or change the fractions to decimal, right? In this case you have to remember that one, if you have to convert a fraction to decimal, you have to divide the numerator by denominator, right? That is a common method, right? You have to divide, if you have a fraction and if you are asked to convert that into decimal, the first thing you have to do is you have to divide the numerator by denominator. That means that up number should goes inside and down number goes outside, right? Then this is the long division, the answer should be 0.625, right? That means it's better to find the decimal answers up to second or third decimal places. Second one, 7 out of 16, right? 7 out of 16 means 1 is the whole number, 7 out of 16 is the fraction part, right? So we have to convert that fraction part into decimal. Fraction part is 7 out of 16. 7 is the numerator and 16 is the denominator. So 7 should goes inside and 16 should goes outside. Then this is the way of doing long division. Then the answer should be 0.4375. That is the answer when we are dividing 7 by 16, right? But we have another one remaining, right? So we have to add those two values, right? The final answer is 1.4375. Okay, now it's time to you. Take out your textbooks, turn to page number 120, mark these questions 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Then page number 122, questions 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 36, 39. Then turn to page number 123, 10, 11, 12, 14, 20, 17. Page number 124, 10, 11, 12, 20, 21, 22, 27, 29. Then page number 126, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Last one, page number 127, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Summary of this first part. In decimal multiplication by 10, 100 or 1000, we have to move the decimal point to the right hand side. In decimal division by 10, 100 or 1000, we have to move the decimal point to the left. That's the basic or main thing that what you have to remember. In multiplication of decimals by 10 or 100 or 1000, we have to take the decimal place to right hand side. In decimal division by 10 or 100,000, we have to take the decimal place to left hand side by 1 or 2 or 3. That depends on the value digits, right? This is the end of the first part of this chapter. That means first part of More on Decimals chapter. Then we'll meet on our next session. Thank you.